There are two types of dictatorships. One is physical dictatorship. As I said, physically you're not like allowed to wear jeans, allowed to have a certain haircut or listen to music, watch TV. But second one is what North Korea and Nazi Germany did. It's like dictatorship of the mind. They control what you think. And I think that's what North Korea did such a perfect job than any other countries have ever done in human history. They brainwashed me to the point where I thought that my dear leader could read my mind. I was afraid to think.
What age are kids forced to work?
Any age, like as 2, 3, 4, even preschool. They teach you that you are revolutionaries, you are not child. So when we go to school, that we pack our work clothes with us. So I was even 5 years old. We pack our work clothes and then we go to school. We learn about, we need to do 500 hours of each dictator about how great they are. The propaganda, right? How amazing the leaders are, how great our party is. And those lessons are in the morning. And then lunchtime, they don't feed you, of course. If the family couldn't afford to make you a bento box, then the child gonna just not eating lunch that day. And then that lunch period is over, then that's when you have to work. How they did that was that they copied the Bible. So they said, God would Kim Il-sung loved us so much, he gave us his son Kim Jong-il. His body dies, but his spirit is with us forever. That's how he can read my thoughts, knows how much hair on my head. And when we die, we join him in this paradise for the rest of our lives. So North Korea is one of the 10 religions in the world. It's a religious cult. It's not just a normal dictatorship. The first thing my mom told me as a young girl was like, don't even whisper, because the birds and mice could hear me. They said, do not even trust your own back, because we never knew who was a spy was. There was always spy listening somewhere. So it was just better not to even say anything, and even better not to think. That's how you survive North Korea.
The population of North Korea is so malnourished that they have basically changed their genetic code and they are now 5 inches on average shorter than South Koreans. Is that true?
Yeah. It's like North Koreans, even now, I come to America, like I cannot gain weight because just our systems didn't fully develop, right? When you need to eat the proper nutrients to develop and develop your organs to process things, we didn't get to do that. So it's interesting, in South Korea, like the grandchildren are much taller than their grandparents. North Korea is a complete opposite. Each generation we get shorter and shorter.
How did you start dating?
That was hard. I didn't date anybody in South Korea because maybe this is the trauma comes with it. I never wanted to date an Asian man. Mm-hmm. Like I was never attracted to it. I think because of all my rapists was Asian men, I was, I guess, maybe associating that with it. Maybe it was easier to come into America. People did not speak any Korean or Chinese. They were speaking English. They looked different, and I was able to start that dating at 21 again. And all my friends were like, what are you doing? You're 21. You need to supposed to test the water. Like you need to have fun. You need to, self-actualize by dating a lot of people, see what you like. I did not date casually ever. So first person I was dating for a year, very seriously.
The very first date wound up being a year-long relationship.
Yeah. And second man that I met was my husband. They buy us as a prostitute, so they put us in a brothels in a room. There's no rights, and they just put you in the room and get you like sometimes I heard like 500 times, and you eventually die after 6 months. You cannot take it anymore, and you die, then they buy a new girl. And some of them, like me, are being sold to another trafficker, and my mom was sold for a man in a farming town who was like mentally not stable, and they buy them as fake wives, as slaves. If you are lucky, you get only by your supposedly husband, but a lot of times you're the cousins, father-in-laws, and the whole town men be around.
If you go against the state, or if you commit a crime, or if you vote the wrong way, then you'll be imprisoned. The 3-generation punishment. So if I voted against the state, I would go to prison, my son would go to prison, and if he had a son or a daughter, then they would be born in prison and spend the rest of their life in prison because their blood is guilty blood.
There's no way you can vote wrong way because North Korea election only has one person on the ballot. and there's only one choice on the ballot. So you cannot wrong, like you cannot vote for a different person. But if you start something against a party, like, okay, I don't believe in communism, then you, of course, get cared. Your sisters, brothers, your children, your grandchildren, and up to sometimes 8 generations.
8 generations.
Yeah. So even the in-laws gets arrested. Like, we built this country, we have this country, and it's a miracle.
Yeah.
Of course, it has problems to fix, but everything is. But losing that perspective and losing that gratitude, I think that's very hard. And if you lose gratitude, you're never gonna be ever happy. You know, when you're only grateful, you can be happy. Every front page of North Korean paper has a Kim's portraits, and then you didn't see the page. It's a backwards, you ripped it. That's how you go to political prison camp.
Wow.
Those are the crimes that we talk about in North Korea as a crime.
I saw even if you fold a paper and you fold
Yeah.
the photo
Yeah.
of
You cannot put other things on top of it either.
oh
You need
my
to
gosh.
you need to pretend this photo is the actual the leader, right? And every home in North Korea we have the portraits of dictators. If the fire caught in the house, the father's first thing they have to protect is the portraits, not their children, not their wife. Because if the portrait gets damaged, then the 3 generation is going to be punished in that family. There are so many heroes that we learn, like who somebody was like died with his own body protecting the portrait, and that is the most honorable death you can do in North Korea. Like dying for the leader is the honorable death. So there's more than 10,000 doctors dedicated in North Korea to find a way to make Kims live forever. So in this study, they need a lot of inmates.
Oh my
So
gosh.
they take them and play with their organs and see what helps to make the dictator live forever.
He wants to live forever.
Yeah.
So that's the big experiment.
Yeah, usually it's called like 만수무강 연구소. It's like the eternal life research institute. They have like 10,000 doctors. Just all day long they are studying that how they can make the dictator live forever.
How did you get trafficked?
They sold my mother first, and they charged her for $65.
They
Mother's
sold
price.
your mother for $65.
Yeah, in the 21st century. I mean, they were negotiating our price right in front of us. They make us to turn around and check our bodies, and they realized I was a virgin. So that was valuable because I was some perverted men love child virginity. So they sold me over like $20 separate from my mom. And then there's a human trafficker rings, right? Each trafficker makes more money on top of you, make the margins on you. So North Korean trafficker sold me, and this Chinese first trafficker selling me to the second trafficker. And that trafficker was a Han Chinese who bought me. His name is Hong Wei. She saw me like a few meters, and then she just spoke in tears. And the first thing she did was give me a piggyback, because until that moment, I was her baby. So she was like, how much my baby has grown, and she was giving me piggyback. I was like, I'm not a baby anymore. I've been raped. You know, I'm not a kid. And I felt so awkward that she was treating me like a kid out of nowhere. And for her, like, until a few months ago, I was a little kid in North Korea, sitting on her own lap. And in North Korea, we don't have separate rooms. So I was always sleeping next to her at nighttime. And she couldn't believe it, how much changed in a few months of time for both of us. Remember when he came into power, and then he one day arrested his uncle publicly. Basically what he did was he made sure all the officials in Pyongyang come and put him in the center, and then you use an aircraft gun to shoot him, not just guns. So when you shoot somebody like that, you become literally like pieces of meat. Your body just gets exploded. And then he would let the dogs to eat his body. And the officials would like faint and pee in their pants. That's how he teaches them, this is what happens if you do not be loyal to me. So most people don't know why they end up in the prison camp.
Is there any way to get out of it?
No.
You're in there for life. There's
political
one
prison.
sentence, and that's a life sentence.
And most of them don't last more than 3 months. Usually you die from the exhaustion and torture. So,
Oh man.
because North Korean regime needs these people. They do a lot of chemical tests on them because they are developing weapons, and then they doing so much nuclear tests. They need to have the people to clean those debris. They said that math is racist. And this is the very first lesson that I learned in North Korean classroom. My teacher asked me one day, what is 1 plus 1? I said 2, and she said wrong. Because my dear literally discovered at a young age, adding 1 drop of water to another drop of water, it becomes bigger 1, doesn't become 2. That's how he proved that math was made up by white men. Now in America, they say the same thing, the math is made up. Gender is made up. Gender is a social construct that was made up by white men to control the minority. And I'm a woman, I can never be a man. Woman is a woman. You have a uterus, you have, you make eggs, you have different genetics. And now, me saying this, that I argued with my professor one day, I can never be a man. And she said, you are brainwashed. One thing my father told me as a young girl was, when tigers die, they leave their skin. But when people die, they leave their names. That's why he told me to make my name long and lasting. And in America, you can do that. Not only dictator can do that. In North Korea, everything is about dictator. And you are no longer about this collective thing. You get judged for who you are, what you are trying to do. And I just felt that was so empowering. They burying the landmines entire through the border. And then they evacuate the citizens out of all the border towns inside now. So they are keep new measures now. There's completely facial recognition cameras, landmines, electrified fences, both China, both North Korean side, that it just became impossible to escape now.
So it's damn near impossible to get out of there
Yeah,
now.
now nobody can escape. I never seen a shower in my life.
Wow.
Because we don't even have the word for shower. We don't have a technology to heat up the water. We don't have running water. We don't have indoor bathroom. We have to go outside to do the business. We don't have, machine to wash the clothes. So it was my job to go to the river and my sister to wash our clothes. The fact that we are not dying from starvation in the 90s, that means wealth. Because
That means wealthy.
yeah, all the actual poor ones died in the 90s. So in North Korea, we had to conserve our energies to survive. We don't know what gym is. We don't know what exercise is. Every day is a hard labor. And you come to America, their problem is burning off calories. They pay money to burn off their calories, right? My girlfriends would go to Equinox gym, and they have membership. They go to group classes to burn showing off. I burn 500 calories today. I'm like, you pay money for that? It's crazy to me. Why would you pay money to kill your own calorie, right?
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
And when people die from starvation, they go through many phases. You just don't die. It's just I'm starving, I'm gonna die, There's a phase of hallucination. There's a phases of crazy. They just lost their mind. They started laughing, It's just laugh. They don't recognize their sons. They're not recognize their mothers. They just lost everything. And then the last phase is everything opens up your body. Just everything opens up. And your organs comes out because nothing can hold it together. And then just you make those sounds that some ghost would make. But till that moment, you still beg for food. I was robbed on the street in Chicago in front of my son by black women. This girl was punching me and took my wallet out. And I was trying to call the cop on these thieves. And people surrounding me, looking at me, screaming at me. Why are you doing this? You're racist. Why are you doing this? Why are you... Because I was trying to call the cops on these thieves. That I'm the problem. Because they can never be oppressed, right? Because of their skin color. Mm-hmm. I don't deserve justice. I don't deserve compassion because of my skin color in America. This is another side of madness. This is another side of injustice. No place to go.
We don't.
This is the last hope for humanity. This is the last hope for me. And this is the only hope for my son. No matter people don't wake up, it doesn't matter, I have to fight. Because I know if we keep going this path of this equity bullshit, we are going to end up like North Korea. I was robbed on the street in Chicago in front of my son by black women. This girl was punching me and took my wallet out. And I was trying to call the cop on these thieves. And people surrounding me, looking at me, screaming at me. Why are you doing this? You're racist. Why are you doing this? Why are you... Because I was trying to call the cops on these thieves. that I'm the problem. Because they can never be oppressed, right? Because of their skin color. I don't deserve justice. I don't deserve compassion because of my skin color in America. I mean, this is another side of madness. This is another side of injustice. And when he was trying to rape me, my mother offered her. And then after that, the guy trying to rape me, I felt like hell. I don't know what strength came out of me. I felt like hell. Because I was ready to die. I was going to kill myself if he raped me. And he thought, okay, if she kills herself, and literally she's crazy right now, then I cannot make any money out of her. So for him, okay, then I need to make money out of her. I was going to try to kill myself. And he said, if you become my mistress, I'm going to help you to find your family. He showed me like this thing called a phone. Like I've never seen a cell phone in my life. And he was like, do you have ever seen a phone? I was like, of course I've never seen a phone. And then like he's like, this thing can take pictures. So he was taking pictures and then showing me on the album, like, do you see this thing can do a lot of things more than like speaking. And then in the pictures, I see my mom's photo. Lived through a lot of lives, but I think I'm just grateful, you know. None of that killed me. And I was able to see the world that was a lot more than this. So I think because I saw it, I can be a lot more grateful now. That I can be a lot happier with the little things these days. In some ways, I guess it's a blessing. I mean, how I look at it is a blessing. At least for me, that's how I decided to look at it. Some executions are just throwing stones. So they put their family members, put them in the first row, and then like throw the rock at your family, your wife, your child. So last thing you see living this world is seeing your child, your husband throwing rock at you and to kill you.
Oh, man.
They make sure the families denounce the person first.
Are these public
These are,
executions?
I never seen the throwing the rock, but I heard that's what they did inside the concentration camp. So inside the concentration camp, they make sure the son and mother, like they stand in the front row and do that, and the other people should throw the rock because Kim Jong said even the bullets are too precious to kill these people. Shooting is usually the public execution that general public goes to watch.
Does the general public enjoy this?
No, it's mandatory.
It's mandatory.
Children need to go watch it. I'm in a position can talk about this, but there are people actually living through what I went through, and sometimes even a lot worse. And I think that knowledge gives me strength to keep speaking up.
So you're finding your strength for speaking for the oppressed.
Yeah, for those because I know what it feels to go through that terror. Like, I'm in a place that people are so good, they talk about trauma. There's a reason why I got saved. There's only 209 defectors made it to America over the last 80 years.
There's only 209
Yeah.
in the past, did you say
years.
80
Yeah.
years?
Of course I'm lucky. Despite everything I've gone through, I'm the luckiest person that I know of. I survived to tell this story. I survived that to shine the light in the darkness. There are 300,000 of North Korean girls. Their organs are harvested out of them. I didn't get that. I'm so lucky.